Today I have a box, a very special box. I told myself when this box got full, we would do a collection update. And this thing is filled with some freaking awesome cards, so I really hope you enjoy today's video. One thing about this channel is that I like to share grading reveals, but to me, actually, that's a lot of the work that I do with the hobby. Now, if you send off PSA orders before, you know the inputting, the submitting, all of that, it's not the most enjoyable thing ever, to be honest. But I've realized over time that this is the way that I've been able to grow a collection without being a millionaire, without putting hundreds of thousands of dollars into this hobby. And so today, this is a fun video for me because I get to show you guys cards that I'm very passionate about and cards that I've added to my collection over the past few months. Now, quick disclaimer before we start, any of the cards shown, I'm not saying go buy this specific player, this specific set, this specific card. You're going to feel the passion for me, but that doesn't mean that you have to enjoy them as well. Use your creativity, collect what you like. That's always the disclaimer that I want to put on this channel. So hope you enjoy, and let's go look at some awesome cards. All right, so first card we have that we were adding to the collection from the last couple months is the Charles Woodson 2015 Prism Gold Prism. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, I just posted this earlier last week. So I found out after buying this card because this card popped up at a price that I felt like was really, really strong. I sent an offer, it got auto-accepted. But what I found out after the fact, because I didn't, again, have time to really do a ton of research, I just knew this would go quick. Woodson's only in 2 years of Prisms. He was in 2012 in the Packers uniform and 2015 in the Raiders uniform. Only two have ever made it to grading companies from either year. So 2012 has only made one PSA 9, and 2015 is the only copy graded, and it's a PSA 10. So it's kind of cool knowing that I now have the only PSA 10 Gold Prism of Charles Woodson, maybe forever. I don't know. I mean, some will probably get to grading companies at some point. Really awesome one. Would love to pair with the 2012 at some point. But that was a cool card that I picked up this month. Next, we have a couple Drew Breeses. So this is the 2007 Bowman Chrome PSA 10. I really like this set. I think it's very good looking. I've heard some people do not, obviously do not feel that way. It's kind of more of a throwback design. It's not quite as shiny and gold as you see on some years. But this one I was happy to add, numbered out of 50. I know the gems on these are very, very, very tough. Especially Peyton Manning has very off-centered copies in the set. So to get a 10, I picked it up. A 9, I probably wouldn't have picked up, but the 10 just made sense. The price was reasonable. I was happy to add this one. Then we do have a Drew Brees 2012 Prism Green Prism. So I don't have a ton of 2012 Prism. I have a Peyton Manning Gold that you've seen in prior videos. This one is one where, again, it just made sense. The price made sense. It was an auction going fairly low. So I just tossed a bid and ended up winning it. Happy with this set in general. I'm looking to add more for Hall of Fame type guys over time. Again, the greens, the silvers, the red die cuts, especially in gem mint grade. That's just a set I believe in long term. And not a card that I feel like I can never replace, but likely a card that, again, long term, I feel pretty happy to have in my collection, that sort of thing. Let's get a few Peyton Mannings. These are probably some sets or parallels you've never seen, hopefully, unless you are way more experienced than myself. Because a lot of these I didn't even know about until, I got reached out to on these or they popped up for auction. As 2012 or 2000 Leaf certified Peyton Manning 2-star mirror gold, numbered out of 25. This is a set that I had to learn about quickly. I had a friend reach out to me, kind of because I asked him I knew he was letting go of a few cards, Peyton Manning specifically. And this was one that I knew he had, so I kind of was like, hey, if you let go of this one, let me know. Thankfully, he did reach out. And I had to quickly, like I said, learn more about the set, what I was comfortable paying, that sort of thing. I learned very quickly that this set is super desired and does not pop up for sale. So only sale that you can find in this set of a real Hall of Famer anytime recently was like a Randy Moss. Also, I think a BGS 8 or something. And then this Peyton Manning, I don't think has ever came up for sale. So again, kind of had to trust my gut on this one. Really, really cool card. I like how the refractor is kind of like kind of like the lasers in Donruss, if you know what I'm talking about, like where the green lasers, where it's kind of a spirally. It's really hard to see from the video, but you can just see, as you come through here, the spiral just changes. Very interesting refractor type card that I've again, have never really seen. And if anybody knows what the 2-star means on this, please let me know. I've asked multiple people. I've looked up the set checklist. Some are 3-star, some are 4-star. I don't know how they decided what players were in what. Seems to affect serial numbering, of course, but I don't know how they decided, why is Peyton Manning a 2-star versus a 4 or something? I'd love some insight if anybody does know. I don't need to know the full story to enjoy the card, know that I love it, but I'd love to hear the story there so I know a little better if anyone does know. Next, we have another kind of unique one. So I mentioned this a lot that I'm obviously going for the 2013 Select Golds. Peyton's a player I collect heavily, so when this green popped up for sale, somebody reached out to me. I did pick this up. These are numbered out of 15, so it's quite interesting. I think this 2013 Select, you only have the silver that's not numbered, of the gold that's out of 10, the green that's out of 15. I think that's it. That's what I like about these sets early on. These first year sets for each product, right? So 2012 Prism, 2013 Select. Like these are the cards and sets that I just really like, because it seems like in history, and correct me if I'm wrong, but a vast majority of sets where they start to really be the flagship for a product, the first year holds up very well over time, and just are just sets that you can't find the cards very easily of. So this was one I was happy to pick up. Will cross to PSA at some point. I do like crossing my cards when possible. Right now I'm just being lazy, and also if I get upcharged, I don't really see a benefit in paying right now when it's not a card I'm ever gonna be moving anytime soon, so there's not really any point to get it crossed over. When I'm looking for a rainy day and want to get an order sent off, I'll probably get this one crossed over too. All right, I think we have two more Peyton Mannings, then we get over to some other players. So this one's a big one. I did post this on my Instagram, and actually, funny enough, all of these cards you probably have never seen before, because none of these are from grading reveals. These are just, like I said, auctions that have been popping up, which is just crazy to be adding all of these. This is a Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor, Peyton Manning, 1998 rookie, obviously, numbered out of 50. So this is the best performers. In this set, there was a base out of 100, best performers out of 50. So you're talking Peyton Manning, Randy Moss, Charles Woodson, all three have rookies in this set. I would like to complete the set if possible. That's kind of my goal. And, for those three players, I have the Moss performers in a 10, which you probably have seen in the grading reveal. I crossed that over. Then a Charles Woodson in a 10 as well. I also crossed from a BGS 9.5. Actually, Moss was raw, and then I graded. But regardless, so I have one of each player, and now I need to find the other, and then I can complete the set. So pretty cool. Always, always, always get a serial number copy on these. Don't buy the backdoor copies unless you just really want them. But they still go for a couple $100, and they're not authentic pack pulled copies, just so you are aware. Those came from an uncut sheet kind of thing. All right, next, 2007 Finest Peyton Manning Gold Refractor and a PSA 10. You're seeing the general theme. I like these refractors, specifically in a 10 if the price makes sense. I'll put this tidbit out there. Like if a card like this, if somebody's asking $200 for a 9, and that's been a going rate for a card, just hypothetically, I think that's what these go for in a 9. And then I get an opportunity to buy a 10 that isn't more than, let's say, like 2 times price. I always will prefer to grab a 10. So I picked this up at a card show, I think for maybe around $350. So again, knowing the 9s were $200 and the 10s he was asking, let's say $400, and I countered offered at like $300, and then we met in the middle at $350. This is the kind of card I'd rather have, just because the gem mint grade is so difficult on these old refractors. I've graded a ton. You've probably seen, there's a lot of conditional issues, especially on a card with black or colored edges like this. You're going to see corner issues, stuff like that. Pop one, Peyton Manning, gold refractor, one I do not have. So again, like I said, I'll add a card like that. Couple Tom Brady's here now. So 2006 Topps Chrome Tom Brady Blue parallel. So maybe a parallel you have or have not seen. These are really awesome. So Topps Chrome, this is the lowest numbered parallel in 2006. There's no gold. So it's the lowest numbered out of 50. So I really like this one because it's, kind of the color match for Brady. There's not a lot of them in Topps Chrome. They typically did not do blue refractors very often, especially in the early years. They're actually, I can't think of any off the top of my head. I mean, later on they did blue refractors, but typically they were, you're in this year, right? You have a red, you have a black. The blacks were pretty common. They were consistent between years. But this year, again, they added this blue. It's not a refractor, which is why it doesn't say blue refractor. As you can see, it's not really, like this one's got the shine to it. This one does not. So it's just a parallel. But again, and a perfect example, on the flip side, I was talking about buying a 10 versus a 9. This is the example of buying an 8 versus a 10, where I had the opportunity to pick this up. I cannot remember the price for life of me, but it was a good price where like a 10 might go for, I'm just making this up, but maybe it's like $1,500 or $2,000. And then an 8 you get for like a 1/6 or a 1/7 of that price. To me, it's all a ratio game. If I can get an 8 for much less, I will do it on a player like this versus spending a couple grand for a 10. I don't see the benefit. But on the flip side, like I mentioned with a card like this, if the 10's only not even 2 times more, but I know how difficult they are to get, then I will, buy the 10 versus a 9. So yeah, cool one there. Again, I guess I'm kind of making grading piles. I'm so used to it at this point, but 10, 9.5, 8s. We'll stick 9s here. I don't even know if I have a 9 in here, which is no, I do. I have one coming up. Next, I have a 2011 Topps Finest Tom Brady Gold Refractor. This is the first one that you guys have probably seen the recent grading reveal. So this is a PSA 1, very fun card. Found it on eBay, I think for, I don't know if it was like $100, something just crazy cheap. Perfect example of the grade discussion again, where I had an 8. A buddy actually wanted it. I knew he wanted it, so I sold to him for what I paid for it originally. And then I kept this one and won. And this example again, where a 1 versus an 8, the 1, I mean, I just got a really good deal, obviously, but it was like a fifth of the price of the 8. Okay, I'm going to keep the 1. The bang for your buck there is, makes sense to keep the PSA 1. Sorry, I meant to say 1 there. But yeah, keep the PSA 1. So nice card here. Again, one I'm going to hold on to for quite a while. I really like that card. All right, next we get into my first Randy Moss card. And this was a month or two of really, really big, awesome Randy Moss cards that I never expected to own. So this is the Gold X-Fractor, numbered out of 10 for Randy Moss. Raiders uniform, unfortunately, but again, on a card like this, you really can't complain. So PSA 9, which is strong grade for this set. These are numbered out of 10. They virtually are ghosts. You do not see them. There was a guy recently on eBay who happened to list like a full-on collection. I don't know if he's going for the set, but there was like 20 or 30, maybe more of these that got listed. I mean, granted, like maybe 5 to 10 were Hall of Famers. I picked up a Tony Gonzalez from him and then also a Larry Fitzgerald, which is really awesome. So again, those I don't have here because they're at PSA, but separately, like I said, a Moss auction came up prior to that. And I did win this one. I went pretty hard on it, but very happy to add it because I just, like I've kind of mentioned, I feel really strongly about specific sets that I know I really, really, really enjoy to collect. And so if I can add a Hall of Fame player of a guy that, you know, I really enjoy, think is a top 5 player at his position all time, I will absolutely pay up to get them now versus trying 2, 3, 4 years from now, because I just don't think it's going to be possible at some point. Some of these are going to end up in, I only got 10 copies, maybe only 5 are ever going to be in circulation at any given point, like total, I mean, over time. I think, you know, these will start hitting collections, and like this one, it will not be moving. So this is just out of circulation now. So I think some of these sets you really have to jump on now, especially the numbered out of 10 that are, you know, 10, 15 years old. I think those are going to be gone in 5, 10 years, just to be honest with you. That's my opinion. It could be completely wrong, but that's my opinion. I don't see these all of a sudden start popping up more. I just really don't expect that to happen. 2000 Skybox, Randy Moss, Superlative Star Rubies. So this is my second Star Rubies total that I have. Interestingly, also out of 2000, I have a Peyton Manning. Not the years that you typically think of for Star Rubies, but really, 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 really awesome card. So this one's very shiny. It's kind of, again, tricky to see. You see my stupid background here, but this is very shiny. It's got the Marvel Comics Superlatives, Randy Moss, Reaches, Receiving, Apex. Just awesome. I mean, if you love comics, you love Marvel, this just fits so well. Really, really, really awesome card. And these are numbered out of 50. And this is one where, you know, I saw it again. It's actually came up at the same time as this Gold X-Fractor. I think somebody let go of a few cards. And so I won both of these. And this one, you take a risk on it because you only see the scanned photo. You really don't know how they look in person. So I took a risk in terms of, again, not knowing if I'd like it or not when I get it in person, but the price made sense. Picked it up and I absolutely love it. This thing's amazing. There's another Star Rubies up for auction right now, and I hope to win that one. I'm not gonna share that if I post this video before the auction, but there's another one from 2000, a different set that's up right now. I'm really gonna go hard on, try to win. So yeah, wish me luck there, I guess. All right, last Randy Moss. So this is the 1998 Bowman's Best, like I mentioned, Atomic Refractor. So these are both the performers, the Moss and Peyton here. 9.5, that will be, like I don't know if I mentioned, but yeah, will be crossed at some point, hoping for a 10, because I have the Woodson base in a 10, and then now the Moss Atomic Refractor best performers in a 10. So this is from a grading reveal. This is one that you're probably familiar with if you've seen my channel for a while. Numbered out of 50. I literally bought raw on eBay for less than the price so that a probably a going rate for an 8 would go. It's just at a time where auctions were super low, and I just went hard on it. It was low or poorly photographed, so I think that probably helped. And it went and graded to a 10. So it just shows you these cards you can gem still. Very difficult, but they're out there, I guess, is at the end of the day. And just an incredible, I mean, just incredible, incredible design. This is one that, you know, if I'm talking like top 5 cards in a collection, this is probably on my Mount Rushmore there, we call it. I would put this one on there at this point. Just love the set, love the player. It's just too good to be true. And a rookie, of course, so. All right, now we have another awesome wide receiver rookie that you're probably familiar with from the same grading reveal. This was a Kelvin Johnson Gold Refractor, numbered out of 50. I bought this raw from a guy on Instagram, Charm City Tim, very, very good guy. And what I think both were concerned about when I picked this up, and I think why he likely didn't grade it, Team Text is almost going off the card here, you can see. I learned after I bought it, I did some research just trying to determine if I wanted to grade it because I thought this was one that could get upcharged even at a 9. It didn't, but it could have. And I noticed there was BGS 9.5s with 9.5 centering with the same text. So I ended up just sending it because I was like, there's clearly a shot. Maybe they don't hit you on that. They didn't. We hit a 10. I just, thrilled. This is a great order. I got both these two back. And, two guys where, to me, this is a reminder that, like, I just think these deep threats, huge freak athlete wide receivers clearly are very well remembered. It's interesting how the possession ball catchers, like, I'm making names up, like Roddy White, Brandon Marshall, like, you don't remember those guys super well. Granted, probably because they're not Hall of Famers, but like a Kelvin Johnson is just such a tier above. Even like Larry Fitzgerald, I don't know where he fits on this hierarchy, but maybe what I'm getting at is been mulling over, like, what wide receivers do we remember well? And then how can you extrapolate that to like modern players? Because look at a guy like Justin Jefferson, great player, but he's a superstar, right? But then you go down a tier like, I don't know, Devontae Adams. Do we remember him well in 10 years? I don't know. I don't really think so. Or like Cooper Kupp. I don't really think so. I mean, they'd have to put together a hell of a rest of their career still, I think. That's just my opinion to get to this, echelon of like Randy Moss, Kelvin Johnson, Jerry Rice. Just so hard to break into that upper tier of collectability, it seems like. I mean, everyone's going to collect what they like, but in terms of mainstream hobby, I don't see a lot of receivers getting too much love outside of, the big 3 or 4 guys here. Second year, Kelvin Johnson, also from, this I bought off Instagram. So really, really awesome card. This is from JRL Cards, who I had on the podcast a couple weeks ago. So check that out if you haven't already. I'm actively going to work on the run here for Kelvin for the gold refractors. I have the Peyton completed. I'll probably go, so it's from 07 to 2015. Try my best, try to complete that. These are the 2 hardest, of course. I mean, this one's just a tough gem, but I'll keep an eye out for some of the other ones and over time pick them up, of course. It's a nice one, Ray Lewis, Uncirculated Gold X-Fractor. I just had this in the recent grading reveal, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it, but just a nice looking card for a player that I really enjoy. That's obviously top tier of all time. Next, we have a Curtis Martin Gold Refractor Gems. So interesting, this example of a card that I got back in a grading reveal. As I mentioned on the channel, a lot of times I sell some, keep the others. This was a card that I had online. I threw on eBay because I was thinking, I gemmed it, didn't expect to maybe sell it and then go buy some other raw copies from this set for better players. Then I started realizing, what do I have from this set? I have the Barry Sanders, the Jerry Rice, I can't remember the other one. I have one more. And the Curtis Martin. All, those two, the Jerry Rice, Barry Sanders, are clearly going to be the hardest to get from this set. I already have them. And then I have the Curtis Martin, sorry. I have all 3 of the gems. So then I was thinking, let's hold on to this. Maybe we can get the whole set. There's only 10 of them. And like I said, I have the 2 hardest and I have the Martin in a 10. So I'll probably try to work on that set over time slowly. But yeah, that's why this one's now, again, I threw it on the eBay store, and then I'm like, never mind, I'm going to hold on to this. I don't think I can duplicate and get a 10 again anytime soon, so I'm going to hold on to that one. Next, Travis Kelce, Gold Prism. Again, probably just recently saw this. So this is a PSA 9, numbered out of 10. Big name right now, obviously, part of me, and somebody mentioned this in a comment, is why don't you sell this card now and buy it back later on? I think I would if it was like a 2021 product or 2022, but this 2019 I don't see popping up too often. I think, again, like I mentioned with the Moss out of 10 here, these are going to end up in collectors' hands. I think 2019 is old enough where there's got to be a few that at least have. So I don't know that I can find another one of these super easily or at a reasonable price. So I don't want to sell that and then, try to find it over time. I just like Kelce. I don't want to have a few, gold. So that makes sense to keep that one. So the Kurt Warner X-Fractor. So speaking of like first sets or first popular parallels, this is the really, I would say, very first iconic X-Fractor. Bowman Chrome has one in 2001. It's short printed, not numbered. And then 2002 Finest introduced the X-Fractor out of 20. So this is my first copy of a card from this set, this parallel, I mean. And these things deliver, man. I mean, it's hard to see, but this X-Fractor, like, I've never seen anything like it. This is just like I'm trying to think what the example is, like an 8-bit video game. Like, that's what this X-Fractor looks like. It's just so shiny, so gorgeous. Really, really great player. So this one I was actually on eBay, sent an offer, like declined or countered every single time. Then I finally got the person off of eBay and did pick this one up. So yeah, just awesome one, a really great player, and a set that I wanted to get more cards of, kind of similarly to 2012 Prism. So just made sense, player made sense. I think these will hold up very long term, very well long term, and they're already close to impossible to find. So I'm happy to add that one in a gem mint grade. Next, we have a few miscellaneous players, but also awesome, obviously, cards. So Terrell Owens, Blue X-Fractor, just something randomly came up in an eBay save search. I have a few of these Blue X-Fractors in a 10. I thought it'd be kind of neat to go after the players that are a jersey match. So I picked this one up. I have a Peyton Manning, a Tom Brady, and Antonio Gates, all in a 10. Now the Terrell Owens. So I've learned over time this set's very, very hard to gem. And I like the color match cards of Hall of Fame type of players. So it's pretty cool to just be able to add this one and kind of, again, throw in that little grouping that I have now. Some of the stuff, it's like like I said at the beginning, and you kind of can feel this, I just collect what I like. I like that set, like that parallel. So that's why I have a save search for it and just pick some up over time whenever they pop up. So 2007 Antonio Gates X-Fractor. These are numbered out of 25. Very awesome parallel, short printed and finest usually is the X-Fractor. It doesn't appear too often in these sets, and when it does, like I mentioned, it's typically pretty short printed. You know, like there's many years where it's like numbered out of 10, numbered out of 25, or numbered out of 20, like I just showed you at the Warner. This is a year where they're out of 25. It's a cool one here for guy who should be entering the Hall of Fame, I would assume, in this year's class. So, nice to add a few cards of his now. So we have the Antonio Gates Black X-Fractor, 2005 finest. Love this set. I have quite a few players from it in 06 and 05. They have this Black X-Fractor. Numbered out of 25, PSA 9. This set's close to impossible to gem. I did grade this one myself, so nice to add a 9 there. Next, we have a few out of this set that, again, you possibly have seen in a grading reveal. So Antonio Gates Mosaic Refractor, numbered out of 10. I can't find the numbering. There it is. So this set's very, very awesome. Another example where a finest has these short print parallels that are like very short-lived. This is 2 years. They did this Mosaic, then it died out, and then Panini decided to make a set called Mosaic that has this parallel in it. So very, very neat there. And we have 2 coming up here as well for LaShawn McCoy. So this is both of the years, numbered out of 10. Like I mentioned very early on in this video, and I think eloquently, hopefully, these out of 10s I want to grab now, like that gold Randy Moss, because I think over time these are going to dry up quickly. People fall in love with these sets, and then you just can't find them after a while. All right, to wrap it up, so we have a few from that 2013 Select Gold set that I'm working on. Many of these you guys haven't seen. Well, some of them you have. I said that, and then you've seen these ones last week. So Andrew Luck Gold Prism, Jake Locker Gold Prism, PSA 9. Like I said, just really love this set. Had some inspiration to maybe start set collecting, and this was the first one that really came to mind because while numbered out of 10, it's going to be very hard to do. It is a limited set. There's only 150 that I'm going after that are, the non-rookies, and they do pop up still. I think in 5-10 years, again, these dry up. They're probably likely gone at some point, maybe a little longer than that, but numbered out of 10 from 2013 still seems feasible to be able to find. It's Frank Gore, PSA 9. This one you guys haven't probably seen. I picked that up from somebody on Instagram who reached out. We have a few more. So we have the Andre Rison, PSA 10. This is like from anything after 100. So 100 to 150 is the, at least Hall of very good, usually Hall of Fame type of guys that are retired. So Andre Rison, Earl Campbell. This is a recent pickup. I picked up from the same person as that Charles Woodson that I just showed you. And we have a few more here. This is Jim Kick. I'll be honest, not a player that I know anything about. I should now research him because I have a card of his, but yeah, clearly he must be a good player for the Dolphins, but this got to be 50s or 60s or something because it doesn't ring a bell at all. And then Rod Woodson, obviously a well-known guy. This was a really, really awesome ad because the Steelers have been very hard to get from this set. They have a very deep and loving fan base, I've noticed already very quickly. So these kind of cards and sets are very hard to find because people will swarm them. So luckily found a 10. I did see a 9 got listed on eBay for significantly higher than what I got the 10 for, so I was happy about that, knowing that I don't have to worry about trying to offer that guy an overpay when I have a 10 sitting here. So that's always kind of satisfying. Hope you enjoyed the video. Awesome couple months for the collection. We'll continue to grow together, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you next week.